Hello there. Here are 3 simple ways to create urgency without creating pressure. And that's for our clients. Now, no doubt you've heard the phrase, people hate being sold to, but they actually love to buy. And my experience tells me it's true. But what I want to do today is I want to take us to the next level. So this is the level where they love to buy when they feel urgency, but without feeling pressure. So in this video, I'll share with you how to create this magical blend, which gently guides people to take action now, however, without ever us sounding desperate or needy. Number 1 is this: it's replacing scarcity with specifics. You and I have seen, or perhaps even added to our own copy, those overused phrases like only 3 places left or doors closing in 24 hours. And the problem is this: people have been burnt too many times with that. And those ideas we've seen, haven't we? That's false scarcity time and time again. Now, that's not to say it doesn't work. However, scarcity alone, especially the often used phrases of false scarcity, no longer work as well as they did. What works now, though, is clarity and context combined with true scarcity. Here's what we can do instead. We can give a real reason for the number that we include. So, for example, I only take on 4 new private clients at a time because each one gets one-to-one access to me. Years ago, when I first wrote my 7 big mistakes report, and it must be, 25 years ago, this was a lead generation report. One of the mistakes that I included, and in fact, it was number 1, was failing to tell people why. And it's still just as important today. So, for example, I only take 4 clients because, and then a valid and believable reason why we're taking that particular stance. Then we can add who our offering is not for. For example, if anyone is looking for passive income with no work at all, then this isn't going to be for them. And we can also add the power of time, especially with parallel logic. If you want to start in May, then we need to talk by Friday to prepare your onboarding session. And the result of these ideas, well, people lean into them because they're informed, they're engaged, and they're not being manipulated. And more importantly, they're not feeling manipulated. Now, number 2 is turning urgency into a shared deadline. One of the most elegant persuasive strategies I teach in the persuasion formula, one of my programs, is this: it's to create a mutual goal with a shared deadline. A mutual goal with a shared deadline. When urgency is positioned as ours, you and your client, me and my client, that possessive pronoun has changed. Then the whole energy changes. For example, if we want your offer to go live before the holidays, we'll need to make our message signed off by next Friday. Shall we aim for that? Sometimes I even refer to it as our offer rather than your offer. And again, that change of pronoun from, let me go through a side point. When we can talk about our own offering, it can be the offering or the offer. Then it can change to yours and it can change to ours. And when we change that possessive pronoun, it is particularly powerful in both our written copy and our spoken copy as well. It's what I call engaging communication. It's soft, it's collaborative, it's powerful, and it shifts the role from us being a seller. Not that I believe in it that way, as you know. We have to learn how to sell, stop selling, and allow people to buy. Learn how to sell, stop selling, allow people to buy. And it changes us from being any particular role in selling to a strategic partner. Now, number 3 is what I call the now ladder. Urgency isn't just about timelines, it's about emotional relevance. And I use what I call this thought process called the now ladder, which is a simple mental checklist to align the message with the moment. Here's how it works. Firstly, we've got the now problem. What's keeping our clients up this week? What's in their minds? What's bothering them? And that might be high churn of clients at the start of the new year. Then we want now language. So we've got the now problem, then now language. What phrases or words are they using to describe the problem they've got? What's called VOC, voice of customer. And we can find these out by listening carefully to their answers in our questions, not just in conversations, but also in surveys. And then the now trigger. This is when we ask ourselves, what could prompt a decision today? So it's the now problem, the now language, and the now trigger. The higher we climb up the now ladder, the more the reader or listener or watcher or other party feels this is about me right now. That's where urgency is, not in the clock, but in the experience of their current reality. So, why is urgency without pressure a powerful strategy to use? Well, when we pair relevance, and you've heard me talk about relevance before, with respect, people are far more inclined to agree with our proposals, not from fear of scarcity, but from clarity. That's persuasion at its most refined. You'll know that wonderful expression from the book Decisive by Chip and Dan Heath. Resistance is created through a lack of clarity. What a brilliant expression. I wish I'd written that. I wish I'd thought of it. Resistance is created through a lack of clarity. So here's some hooks to lock the idea in for yourself. Scarcity fades away, whereas specifics stick. It is part of the 5, or in fact, I believe 6 keys for memory, and specifics stick. Pressure pushes people away. However, partnership brings people towards us. And if I'm going to wax lyrical, maybe even deadlines expire and desire endures. Did I really write that one? Yes, I think I did, actually. It's the same approach I share in my book, Paid, which was to base our fees on transformation for the client, not time spent with the client. And when the client feels the truth of what's possible, urgency grows naturally. So here are 3 action points. Firstly, I'd suggest that you rewrite a CTA, a call to action. You might use call to value as well. I don't know if you use CTA or CTV, but call to action perhaps in an email that you've written. So rather than having only X number left, rephrase that with a reasoned explanation as to why. Next one is pick a prospect that you're dealing with and reframe your offering as a shared deadline challenge. And then thirdly, build your now ladder. List 3 pains, 3 phrases, and 3 possible decision triggers. Remember, it's the now problem, it's the now language, and it's the now action. It's going to get people to take action. So, across my years in selling, I've seen 2 types of urgency, manipulated and meaningful. And manipulated urgency is all smoke and mirrors. It's flash sales, it's fake countdowns, it's fear of missing out. And yes, it can get short-term clicks, but the problem is, I think it can easily create long-term mistrust. Whereas meaningful urgency, that's a different way altogether. It's when the truth is more compelling than any trick. When someone sees that now really is the moment, that's when clients act, not because they're pressured, but because they finally convince themselves. You may know another one of my expressions, which is that selling takes place in the gathering stage as clients sell themselves in their answers to our well-crafted questions. And I spend my life writing well-crafted questions for both myself and my clients. So the goal isn't to pressurize clients into saying yes. The goal is to create a moment where yes feels the logical and emotional and natural next step, where waiting is the real risk and where our value is obvious, not just through what we offer, but the way in which we offer it. So if you've enjoyed this video, and I certainly have, there's plenty more of my occasionally strange videos about here. And if you want to be notified when I post a new one, just hit that subscribe button. And in the meantime, I wish you every success in all your adventures in life. And aren't there many to be had? From me, Peter Thomson, until the next time, goodbye for now.